Hey there, so welcome to Masterclass 8. In this episode, we talk to McDougleberry, also known as Keith. Now, Keith has only been streaming on Twitch for around 7 weeks at this point, but he's already averaging about 35 viewers, and his chat engagement is absolutely phenomenal. Now, you might be able to tell why when we start talking to him, but Keith's from North Carolina, and he has a very infectious attitude, personality, and also accent. Keith is a Twitch affiliate, so not quite yet a Twitch partner, but given it's only been 6, 7 weeks, he will probably be reaching partner by the end of 2025. He's already on track for it and he's doing amazing. We talk about how Keith decided what niche he's going to go into and how he strategically finds the games that he's going to play. And we also talk about how he went and took skills that he acquired from streaming on Facebook Live about 4 years ago onto Twitch, and how he doesn't necessarily actually use that much social media, but actually instead prefers trying to create connections and network through supporting other small streamers. If you are a new streamer, there's a ton of really great information to take away. And if you're wanting to reach out to Keith or Dougleberry at any point in the future, then just reach out. I'm sure we'd be more than happy to stream together or just share some tips. Enjoy. We spoke the other week and you had mentioned that you actually had originally started on Facebook Live a few years back.
So I started Facebook streaming maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I gained about 10K followers within about maybe 6, 7 months. The traction was pretty okay. I got close to where I could get subscriptions and stars and stuff like that, but the integration for streaming was pretty poor, if I'm gonna be honest with you. Facebook has and they've made it better now, but back when I did it, you had like a one link, you had to like set up a one stream key every time you went live. Um, and sometimes when you set up an event with a stream key, the stream key would change when you had to go live. So then you have an event that you couldn't actually utilize. So it was real. It's kind of it wasn't as like synced as it should be. Like Twitch, like as soon as you upload like what you're doing, like all that stuff, it's your account's linked to it. It goes straight live, and it's all synced. Facebook, I had like 40 or 50 posts that I couldn't even utilize because the streams couldn't use the same stream key. If that makes sense.
Mm, yeah,
But
yeah.
I gave it up a while. I gave it up maybe about 4 years ago because I had some personal stuff going on, so I stepped away for a while. And then I finally decided to come back.
So why did you decide to come onto Twitch rather than going back to Facebook?
So, funny story. So, Facebook has pretty much nuked my page, like nuked it. Like, if I'm being honest with you, um, they did a weird thing where I tried to apply for subscriptions. They gave them to me. As soon as I set it up, they took it away from me. Then I tried to run ads. They took the ads down. I messaged support about it and I sent them receipts. I had receipts. I kept receipts of it. And the support guy was like, "Oh, it shows on our end. It's all good. You're clear. Everything's set up. Blah blah blah." I sent him the receipts. He just pretty much told me that there's nothing to do, and then closed the support ticket out. So I said, "Well, I'm just not going to go back."
Yeah. I mean,
So
that's
I
so
started.
classic.
Yeah, yeah. And to make it even funnier, Marcus is like, I tried to. I lost 6 followers on that page, and they said I gained 40% follower count on that. So page is dead. If I had to guess.
Yeah. So then thought, okay, well, I'll give Twitch a go. And because you only started up again, what was it, about mid-December, start of December, was it? And we're at the end of January now.
Yeah. Yeah, I started about middle of December.
Yeah, so you've been doing this back again for like 6 weeks. And did you start off with like a completely fresh Twitch account?
So I had, I think 15 followers when I started back up. So like it wasn't like I had a lot of traction. A lot of it was like friends and family followed it. Just like as I sent them, hey, there's my Twitch account, follow it. But it wasn't like actual, I guess you could say, real engaged followers. So it's pretty much like I had zero.
Yeah. And for context, so for people that are watching, obviously we just mentioned that Keith started in mid-December with 15 followers. He's now on, I just had a look before we started this recording, 891. So in the space of 6 weeks has gained 800. 70 followers, which is like pretty insane, but an also very insane number is that you are already averaging about 35 followers a stream in such a short period of time, which is the reason why I wanted to get Keith McDougleberry on, because it would just be incredible to understand how he's gone about doing that. So you're not a partner right yet, you're still an affiliate, still working your way up to the numbers of partner. But the fact that you've already gotten to 35 average viewers, peaking at sometimes, I checked in the past 30 days, you peaked out at 65 followers, 65 viewers. Those are like insane statistics, right? Insane statistics. So I thought, a great way to give some people some context as to what we're going to discuss and like why this might be super valuable for people who are
Mhm.
still early or in affiliate stage. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. There's any additional like context you want to give people before we kind of crack into some key questions?
No, you nailed it on the head, Marcus.
Good stuff. Okay, so yeah, so the main genres of streaming that you're doing are horror and FPS, right? And you kind of do variety within them. But when we spoke the other week, you mentioned that you don't go for like big FPS games or big horror games, right? You go after niches. So it'd be great if you could give a little bit of insight into the strategy which you deploy when picking new games, and maybe give some explanation as to exactly what genres and what you look for when selecting games.
Yeah. So my whole strategy is Twitch is really geared to if you already have a lot of viewers, you're going to get more viewers. So if you're at the top of the board, you're going to keep getting more. Like I've learned in FPS games like Call of Duty and Fortnite, like we talked about before, Marcus, if if there's 10,000 other people streaming that game, like are you going to watch like Tim the Tat Man or one of those bigger streamers at the top, or are you going to scroll all the way down to maybe find Joe 10, 12 streaming Call of Duty with the boys with one viewer who's probably like his sister, right? You're not gonna do that. Unless like you really, really like pay attention, you know what I'm saying? Um, so I always pick games that were interesting that people have never heard of before that might intrigue people's interest. And usually would either put me in the top 5 of that category. Because usually on the Twitch scroll page, even on your mobile phone, you see about the first 5 creators, right? So I'm in that top 5, I'm very likely to get somebody to click on me. Most people aren't gonna scroll down to the second row. Like, I treat it like TikTok almost, the discovery page on Twitch is you have 4 seconds. They don't see you in the first 4 seconds, they're just gonna click off entirely. So, same thing with Twitch. If you're not in that first 5, they're probably not gonna find you unless, like, you really, really, really advertise yourself like crazy. So that's kind of where I've found myself. And plus, I do these niche games. A lot of people have never seen them, never heard of them before. So they're always like engaged with it, kind of trying to learn a little bit about it. There's not a million people making YouTube videos on the game. So it's usually a new experience for the viewers. So they want to kind of hang on with it a little bit.
Yeah, and so so maybe taking a step back then. So when you first started back up in December, mid-December, do you remember what
Mhm.
particular games it was you were streaming?
So I started with Helldivers 2 and I gave that one a go. That was somewhat of a popular game. It's not as popular as it once was at launch. But I've learned even with Helldivers 2, it's still a niche title. It's not as, like, competitive as you would say a Call of Duty or Fortnite, like, it only has, like, 2.1K viewers, so usually you'll have one guy with a lot of viewers, but the rest of them are kinda sprinkled a little bit. So that's kinda where I started, and then I found games like I did an indie horror game where I did called Night Bus, which is just you're a bus driver driving away from demons, and it's maybe like a 5-10 minute long game, but has like multiple playabilities with it. So give it a good chance to make some funny commentary with it. That's the main thing I do. If I can't feel like I can make funny commentary with it, or I feel like I'm going to enjoy the game, I won't bother playing it. Because usually a viewer like Marcus, you've Twitch viewed a few times, you can tell if the person you're watching really doesn't enjoy the game they're playing. You can almost feel like it almost feels fake, like they're just facading the whole gimmick a little bit. So I wanna always make sure I'm playing something I can feel genuinely like I interact with it.
Mm. And then, so with Helldivers, for example, that obviously already had somewhat of an audience. You know, it's a small audience, but a decent enough
Mhm,
size to like make a bit of a break into. And I
mhm,
guess there would have maybe there wouldn't have been much point for you when you very first started back out again. You had 15 followers going into a game that I know you were playing a game yesterday. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it looked like quite an old classic game, and there was no one else streaming it, right? So maybe back then, if you'd have done that, it wouldn't have paid off as much. Whereas now you have a bit more
mhm.
flexibility, right? And that you already have the viewers.
Yeah, yeah, and since I'm really the one streaming it, I noticed when a lot of people in my Twitch chat were like, "Oh, the thing, it's a classic game," and that kinda draws people in a little bit because there's like, "Oh, I remember that game from when it first came out 10 years ago," and they usually stick around, they wanna talk for a while.
Mm. And so then you went from Helldivers and the Night Bus game. Where did you go on from there?
So, if I remember correctly, I went from that and I started finding niche titles. I had to pull up all the list I've done before. Like I played a game called Dark and Darker, like a medieval kind of Tarkov style game. It was a niche title, um, but gave me ability, like, with some friends to make some fun moments and clips out of it. I also went and played a game called Gray Zone Warfare, which is like an open world Escape from Tarkov, but it's not as widely popular as Escape from Tarkov, so I still had a chance to be close to the top of the leaderboards with it. And after that, I believe I played Dead Space, which Dead Space has a really, like, audience who's very, it's not a very big audience, but they're very engaged with the series. So they see somebody playing Dead Space, they all kind of want to pop in there and talk about it. So I noticed I had like a lot, maybe like 5 or 6 first-time chatters popping in when I played Dead Space for the first time on stream.
And have you found that, for example, when you've gone into those more like cult-like games, like the traditional cult-like games, have you found that they've like stuck along as well when you've changed over to new games? Do you find that you've actually managed to kind of convert them into more loyal viewers outside of just them enjoying Dead Space?
I believe so. Like I've had a few of those people actually join my community Discord, and they'll actually interact with me, want to know when I'm going live, and they always try to interact and want to communicate with me. And I've had like a few in my Twitch chat are like, so they saw the notification, they feel like they have to run off every app they're on to pop in there just because I've hooked them, they want to stay.
Yeah, yeah. And is there a reason why you picked the kind of high level genres of horror and shooters or FPS? Is it just because you like them most, or is it for any other like strategic reason?
I think a lot of it was because I enjoy horror games and I enjoy first person shooters, but also it kind of gives me a chance to like play games I may not have played before. Since I'm not hitting the high tier like popular games of the time, it forces me as a creator to find games I may not have actually played prior to give those a shot. Like I went on the Steam page a few times, I'm going through there finding games I've never heard of, buying them and saying, "Well, hey, I can use it, play like this stream with this game. I already kind of have somewhat of a plan I can do with the game a little bit." So it kind of forces me to be flexible in a sense.
Yeah. And would you say that, because with when you mention like Call of Duty, for example, or Fortnite, a lot of those games people will watch either because people are at the very top and like they're just the ones that people are going to be
Mhm.
attracted to. And a lot of the time, maybe excluding Tim the Tap Man, most of those people are just very good at the game. Like the best players attract the most
Yeah,
viewers because
yeah.
people like watching that. That's where the entertainment value is. Um, Whereas I
Mhm,
guess the shooters that you're playing are much more casual, right? And they allow you to revolve it more around the humor, your personality, as opposed to just trying to be a sweat at the game, right?
mhm. Yeah, yeah. Because I feel like building a community, they have to be engaged with you. They have to feel like they're one with you. And if it's just like you're a sweat at a game, they're really not getting to know you. They just know like you can get a 50 bomb on Call of Duty. Well, what happens when you get a 30 bomb? They may not stay. You know what I'm saying? Because the guy above you is getting a 50 bomb while you're barely getting 25. So these ones I'm allowed to engage my audience. They're like, hey, I want to come see what McDougleberry is doing. I want to know what Keith's up to because I got attached to him as a person, not necessarily the game itself.
Yeah, and I think what you've kind of touched on there is, like, around your brand. Like, if you're known for playing just one
Mhm,
game and you're supposedly the best at it, and then maybe you fall off a little bit, there's very little brand maybe to fall back on there. You can't just switch game because
mhm,
that will probably lose you a lot of audience. Or if you've got, like, the young bloods coming up and through the ranks and are, like, killing it in ranked, and they're just outplaying you because 'cause you're just getting older and maybe reaction times are slowing down. It's a
mhm,
very difficult position to be in, right? Whereas for yourself, like you mentioned,
mhm,
people are actually attracted to you as an individual because they find you very funny and engaging. It's hard to, like, remove that
mhm.
no matter what game you're playing. You could just be sat there chatting and people would find it entertaining. And I know that humor just, and maybe for you to expand on, humor is probably, like, the biggest one that you play off when it comes to streaming, in terms of what your value is.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll tell you honestly, Marcus, that we talk about my peak viewership, like 65, 75 viewers. That stream I had it, I was literally doing a just chatting portion for like 3 or 4 hours, and I had 65 viewers at that point. And all of them were just staying because they wanted to engage with me. The one they were staying because the game I was playing was I'm sweating on Fortnite, and I'm the best builder in Fortnite. No, it was they got attached to who I was. And a lot of those people now, I've watched them, those they have 35, 40 viewers. A lot of them are the same people who came for that 65 viewer stream. So they keep coming back because they want to talk to the person.
And what do you think it is then about yourself that people, like, find so engaging?
Honestly, Marcus, I just try to be genuine. I try to actually engage with chat on a genuine level. Another thing I do a lot of times to get my community to want to come back, like for example, the end of that stream, there was actually a viewer I had coming toward the end of it, and she's maybe only had 2 or 3 viewers total average. Most she ever had at one time was 9 viewers. She was on the path to affiliate. And I said, when you go live in like 2 seconds, I'm gonna send all 60 people to you in like 2 seconds. Since she hit live, I rated her like 60 some viewers and made her whole day. And she's come back ever since. 'Cause I try to be like I genuinely want my people I follow or people I interact with, people who follow me, subscribe to me know that I'm not just doing a facade for the looks of it, that I genuinely, like, want them I care about them, I want them to feel like they're welcome there, they're included there, and that I value not only their my success, but their success too on the platform.
And when it comes to, like, non-streaming, like, non-streamers who are viewing you, is there anything that you notice in particular that
Mhm,
they, like, enjoy talking about with you or find, like, appealing to you? I'm guessing, well, as a Brit, the first thing that I'm, like, appealed to with you is the accent. Obviously, North Carolina, very strong Southern accent, and it's, like, very authentic, but it's also very, like, captivating too. So I don't know, is it an
mhm.
accent? Obviously, if anyone was to go and, like, look at your stream as well, you do not stop talking. Everything is narrated, and it's amazing, but it's not, like, doesn't seem when you're narrating that you are fed up of narrating, like, it's always highly engaged. So are there any key things that people
Mm.
are commenting on when they come and watch you, and why they join your Discord, why they stick around, why they come back to the next stream?
So, the accent, I mean, does play a part because I do have a lot of, like, European fans, British fans, they always say the accent ties them in all the time. The other thing I do a lot of times is I have a lot of memes in my community, like, because when we had our talk a couple weeks ago, you talked about what if I started a stream with just a just chatting portion, right? So now I don't even do a starting soon screen. I start the first 15 minutes with just chatting. And I'll roast my chat, they'll roast me back. We kind of banter back and forth, and then I get in the gameplay. There's a meme in my community where we call each other the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Um, so they'll always call me McDougleberry is what they'll call me. We also, to make it even funnier, is we'll actually remove the Doug out of it, or the Dougal part out of it. So you just have Mick and Barry, and it's like fill in the blanks. So you put whatever you want to, like it's McHaterberry, Mick fill in the blank berry, Mick figure it out, like just stuff like that. He just keeps people interested and engaged with it. So, and it's a community thing that just kind of started on its own. It got so far, like on the Shadow AI, I actually made a goat emote. So now you'll see a goat emote popping up in the chat for it.
Nice, and I guess it's people's ability to know that you're not taking yourself seriously, right? And you're going to, like, lead by example with the humor, with the banter. I think a lot of
Mhm.
streamers maybe miss on being themselves a lot, or maybe just don't talk enough, or don't feel like they can
Mhm.
joke around because they're worried about what might come back to them. But I mean, you're a perfect example of it, like actually really working out because people are attracted to people they find funny or want to be like or would consider a friend if they could meet them in real life, right?
And it's one of them, like, when you're telling a joke, like, to your friends, like, you're thinking, like, the funny joke. You're not sitting there thinking, like, "Well, how will they take the joke?" All this stuff. If you're trying to be funny, you're genuinely funny, it's just gonna come out naturally, right? And if you're just having a good time, because you want the people actually following you and viewing you to feel like you're their friend almost, like, "Hey, that's my buddy McDougleberry, I wanna come watch him," and they feel a part of it. If they feel like you're just a guy giving a TED Talk to them, they're not gonna wanna come back.
Yeah, for sure. And is there, going back to your name, McDougleberry, is there any story behind that name?
Honestly, so in the Xbox 360 days, I was just trying to think of a name I could use that wasn't taken because, if you had another name on Xbox, they would give you like whatever number 2000 or 2002 or something like that. So I just thought in my head of McDougleberry. It really kind of just dawned on me for a second, and then it just kind of stuck. People thought I
Mm.
actually got it from the Key and Peele sketch where they did the McCringleberry, but that actually came out a couple years after I'd already done it. So I was like, well, maybe I should just take a lawsuit out real quick, get my money they owe me on that. They took my idea.
And you've never thought about changing it since? Always McDougleberry? Because I actually think it's a really great name, and I'm surprised it wasn't already taken.
It what's funny is my Twitter handle's taken. So the Twitter handle's taken, just nothing else. Because I didn't have a Twitter for a while and I made one in like 2017, 2018. But there's like fake account. It's a clear fake account has my at symbol. And I added Twitter and I was like, "Can we fix this? Can we help out the goat real quick and give my name back?" But
No
no
luck,
news on that yet. But we're still working on it.
no luck, no luck. Try and at Elon, maybe he'll sort you out. Alright, and so going back to your Facebook days then, what given this was like 4 years ago, were you still kind of the same personality back then, or do you think, like, over time that's changed at all to when you moved on to Twitch?
So when I first started, like, there's actually still a couple streams up on the Facebook page. They're actually more later on, so like you kind of see the development. When I first started, I had a webcam that barely peeked over the top of my monitor, so you saw half my face, and it was maybe like 720p quality, but it worked. But you could tell I was real nervous. I was still trying to find my footing as far as talking. I would talk quite a bit, but it wasn't like it is now where I'm just having a good time. It was more, I was kind of like I was walking on glass a little bit with it. Like I was scared to really be myself. And I think after 4 years, I've kind of matured a lot and kind of gotten more used to being in front of the camera. So now it's almost like flipping a switch. I'm just who I am.
And do you think that was, like, a big part of the learning curve then for being a streamer, was learning to talk to yourself?
Oh yeah. Like if you're first time streaming, like it is kind of intimidating to have the camera in front of you. It kind of is because now you're thinking through everything you say, everything you do, the people you have in your Discord you're hanging out with, the games you're playing, all that stuff. So it kind of puts a lot of pressure on you. Uh, Honestly, Marcus, my advice to people if they're scared of that stuff is act like you're just talking to your best friend, like he's talking to him. Like, yeah, they're not talking back to you. They're virtually talking to you on a chat, but just kind of think about it like that. Like, don't even act like it's there. Like, you're just talking to your buddies, having a good time, but you're doing it virtually.
Yeah, I think that's a really great tip. I think so one of the main things that I know when I speak to people that they struggle with is just not knowing really what to say. So do you kind of have any tips around,
Mhm.
some ways that people can think of stuff to say?
I kind of get a lot of a crutch because the game that I'm playing a little bit, like, because something happens in the game, I can kind of play off of it. Like, we had a one yesterday where somebody mentioned in chat that the guy was playing with like Steven Seagal, the actor. So I was able to like play off of that and like have a 30-minute conversation about how I had Steven Seagal. So it's just kind of your game can help you. If whatever content you're doing, pick something that can help you find what to say. If you pick something where you're just having to lock in for 30 minutes and stare at the monitor because you're trying to get a good kill count, it's kind of going to hurt you in finding what to talk about.
Yeah, it's really difficult when you're like trying to sweat out a game, get a PB or hit a 30, 40, 50 bomb and also like genuinely engage with chat. Like there's only so much you can
Mhm.
like balance at a time. FPS games, competitive
Yeah.
FPS games are very difficult to talk and play in. Whereas like we
Mhm.
said earlier, you go down more that casual route. So using the game as the crutch to talk.
Mhm.
I know other ones that people have mentioned in the past as well is just like thinking of a story and just telling the story and then might not even have anything to do with the
Yep.
game. Then someone might respond and it might trigger something else.
And that does help too. Honestly, having like telling a story or like sharing a little about yourself or something like that can give you something to talk about. That way they're learning about you a little bit. Um, but that's another one I've used. Like I said, I'll either tell a story of myself or I'll let my game kind of crutch me through it a little bit. At least till I kind of get chat going. And once I get chat going, it's like easy to do at that point.
And outside then of like, let's say your stream, is there anything else that you're doing that's helped you get from 0 to, average of 35 viewers in 6 weeks? Is there anything other than just purely turning on a stream and going live that you've been doing?
So I know a lot of people use networking, but there's two kinds of networking. That follow for follow stuff, it's a cheap way to get affiliate. Like you can get your 50 followers like that, but you're really not getting any genuine traction because those people aren't really going to come watch you. Or if they do watch, they'll pop in and say, "Hey, have a great stream," and they'll leave real quick. So it's not really a genuine viewer. They won't count towards your average. One thing I do is and a good advice I got was to be a viewer. If you go in those people's streams that are following you and you talk to them, you engage with them, you make them laugh, you're just there to support them, they'll come back and they'll want to come watch you and be there for you because they feel like, hey, McDougleberry cares about me, so I want to come support him. Like one of my bigger chatters, his name's Prim Live. I've him and his wife, they're in every one of my streams. And I literally he maybe has two or three viewers. I'm one of the three. And I'm in there just chatting up a storm the whole time with him. Whenever I'm live, he's in there and he's chatting my head off. Anytime he sees me, he's always excited about me, always happy to see me. That's how you make genuine growth with your channel. If you're just expecting people to see go live and hit the go live notification, I'll be honest with you, Mark, I checked my statistics. Most people don't even hit my go live notifications, to be honest with you. Most people, they just, when they come scroll through and suggest and see I'm live, they'll usually click there. So hoping that people follow you and they click the notification bell isn't likely going to happen. But if you're going their chats and you're chatting with them, talking to them, engaging with them, maybe sending a sub to them, sending some bits their way, they'll come back and they'll stick around for a good bit.
And so would you say networking then has been like the biggest main contributor outside of your just streaming that's led to the growth?
Yeah, and I think it's genuine networking. Not like I said, because like there's two forms of networking, and if you do true genuine like chatting or raiding out to somebody, if you raid somebody who follows you, they'll pop in. They'll definitely come check you out. They'll want to talk to you. Like one of my bigger like chatters, I saw her name's like Gracie. I saw her on suggested channels. I popped in there, gifted 10 subs. We chatted up a storm. Now she's come to my chat every day. She actually sent me recently just chatting overlay. You might have seen my last stream. A viewer made that for me. That's because
Wow.
I went in their streams and I've been engaged with them, talking to them. So they want to reciprocate that back to me. That's kind of how I do it.
Mm. I think you make some like really great points in terms of authentic networking and like inauthentic networking. And we do get quite a few people joining Yaka thinking that that's what it's about, like it's follow for follow. But
Mhm.
you hit the nail
Yep.
on the head, which is that it's not long term lasting. Like, yeah, okay, three people, 50 people follow you, three people sit around and watch you get to affiliate. You get to affiliate, they stop watching. Now what? You're like, you don't
Mhm. Yep.
yes, you get the affiliate badge, but you don't get anything else. You don't win like £1,000 for getting to affiliate, right? So there's really, in a
Mhm.
way, like, no huge reason to be doing follow for follow, because if the goal for a person is to be a genuine streamer and content creator, and for this to be a hobby of theirs that they love for years to come, it shouldn't be about just getting your affiliate
Mhm.
badge like within the quickest time. It should be about, genuinely providing entertainment and trying to get people engaged with
Yep.
you who are genuinely engaged and not just following you because they think you're going to follow them back. I don't know how you feel, if
Yep.
that makes a lot of sense.
No, 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 you're perfectly right on that, Marcus. That's kinda like what I'm kinda going with a little bit. A lot of those people and you'll see them on Facebook groups, Twitter groups, and they'll just be like, "Follow for follow," and, like, you watch them come into people's Twitch chats, and you can see that you everybody pull the chat logs back up. They'll pop them 2 seconds, say, "Hey, have a great stream," or, "Hey, follow me," and they leave. So, they're not gonna get you to affiliate. They don't care about you at all. They're more worried about themselves. But
Yeah,
if you genuinely network with people and you genuinely show people love and they feel you're genuine, and the good thing too, if you're genuinely networking with somebody, is they're already learning a little bit about you because you're chatting with them. So when they come into your streams and they start talking to you, it's not like a new chatter. It's not like somebody you're going to learn for the first time. You've talked with them for maybe 2 or 3 hours in one of their streams, so it's just automatic. It gives you something to talk about.
yeah, 1,000%. And do you do much social media posting? I know you have a TikTok account and you have the link in your bio still to your Facebook account and you have a YouTube account. Are you still, actively doing that? If you are, what are you actively posting on? Maybe give some insight into your social media
So
content if there is any.
So I still do that. I usually post like clips and I'll post Discord links, stuff like that. Or I'll post just advertising for myself. But I try to make the advertising post like something to engage somebody to click on it. Like if you want somebody who's going to help you network, help grow your stream, genuinely a community that loves and supports each other, hey, pop in here and support, like pop in here and join what we're doing over here. Um, I post on X, I post my clips to X and TikTok. I don't really post a lot to Instagram, because Instagram Reels they're not really as well driven, I guess you could say, as like a TikTok Reel or X. Now, I will say if you do post to X, if you actually post the video directly to X and not a link to it, it usually gets better traction for you. Now, my biggest bread and butter has been YouTube Shorts. I have farmed some YouTube Shorts. For some reason, my clips do better on YouTube Shorts than TikTok. Like, I have a clip that'll do 100 on TikTok, 100 views. The same clip on YouTube Shorts do 1,000, 1,500 views. So I really have no real incentive to post on TikTok as much as I'm doing YouTube Shorts. I still do it, but YouTube Shorts, if you find the right hashtags for the algorithm, you can get quite a bit of views and hits on it.
And are you also posting like longer form videos on YouTube at the minute, or is that something that you've not started implementing yet?
That's something still in the works. Like something still I'm working on. Like right now, I still upload my full VODs to YouTube, but I haven't actually made like a long form content video yet. I have an editor. He's working on something right now, but we haven't actually like fully started publishing videos.
And how many times a week is it that you're streaming? What does your kind of stream routine look like?
So I do 3 days a week. I used to do 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I've changed it. There's two reasons I changed that. One, I had a lot of people in the UK and Europe, so like, and as a Brit, like it's maybe 1, 2 o'clock in the morning by the time I'm going live. So probably not going to catch unless like you're just a night owl and you're up all night. Um, so I changed a little bit. I pulled it back to 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I've noticed I've got a lot more traction because when I was doing 8 to 12, I was getting maybe 20 to 25 average viewers. Um, Now I'm getting in the 30s. So it did substantiate my viewer count. Another reason I did it was there's a good community I'm like affiliated with that I've become good friends with. His name's Mass Machine 5000. I think I mentioned I'm doing a collab with him a while back. He's on the path to partner, but I noticed he goes the same time that I do. So we were going live at the same time. And I watched our viewer counts. He would drop to like the 50s and I would be at like the 25 to 30. But when I changed times, he got up to 100 and I got up close to 40. So I
Wow.
learned like a lot of his community wanted to watch me and a lot of my community wanted to watch him. So to make to help both of us grow, I changed times, and it's actually been better for the betterment now. Like he can come in my streams and support me. I can do the same to him. It kind of keeps that back and forth networking going.
Yeah. And are you guys doing, collaborations together? Are you doing, like, streams together or anything like that when you're running at the same times?
So we do. Like I have a few times, like when I did that 24-hour stream, he actually rated out to me. We actually did a collab on Hell Divers together, and then at the end he rated out with like 60 some people to me. So we have a real good like partnership and connection there, like as far as developing. Like when I pop in there, he'll even give me free advertisement, Marcus. I'll just pop in there and say, hey, and he's like, guys, go follow me at McDougleberry. I'm like, hey, free advertisement to 100 viewers.
And is he from North Carolina as well, or where's he from?
He's actually from Pennsylvania. I got in touch with him because one of his big moderators, she reached out to me and said, hey, right out to Mass Machine 5000. So I think I mentioned doing that a couple weeks ago to you. I did it. And the end result of that was I got flooded with quite a lot of people from his community wanting to come talk to me now. And it's been really great advertising. Anytime
Mhm.
anybody from my community walks in there and starts chatting in his streams, he's like, guys, you got to go find McDougleberries. Shout him out in the chat, guys. We got to send people over there. So that
Oh,
comes that genuine networking like we talked about earlier. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say one of the things I actually wanted to ask them was I think a lot of people worry about the number of viewers that they have, and oh, I have 3
mhm,
viewers, I can't reach out to someone who's got 20 viewers. And you just kind of spoke there on you having 20, 25 viewers, he had 75 viewers, but you guys were still able to form a relationship, even though he at the time had 3 times
mhm.
the size of you. So maybe I don't know if you want to speak on that in terms of people's confidence to try and reach out for collaborations if they're genuine collaborations.
Yeah, like I said, if you the thing with doing collaboration with bigger streamers is don't feel like you're really bothering them by doing it. The thing is, if you're genuinely like, hey, I want to play a game with you, and like you're interacting back and forth, chatting, having a good time with each other, and you open the door for that. If you're genuinely wanting to do it just to like interact with them and they feel like it's genuine, there's nothing wrong with that. Um, a good way, honestly, I'd say a good way to open the door for a collab, if you're ever looking to do that with a bigger streamer, is if you rate out to them, it honestly opens that doorway for you. Like I rated him the first time with like 15, 20 viewers. And when I did that, it opened the door for him to want to keep talking to me and keep it going. Um, like then after that we had each other on Discord. We talk back and forth like on a personal level now. And all it started with was me just rating him the first time. So if you're wanting to open that door for collaborating, a good way to start is rating somebody. Because I've always said, even if it's one viewer to rate somebody with, there's a million people on the platform streaming every day. For you to take the time to look them up, send your one or two viewers over there to them, still means a lot. And any creator who takes that for granted has kind of lost what it's all about. Because that
Mhm.
person still thought enough of you to send them your way. And that kind of will open your door to get that collaboration in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you make like such a strong point there about remembering what it's all about. If you're, someone who's brand new and you're maybe raiding out to Ninja, then yeah, okay, maybe that's like too far gone. But if you're, at one,
Yeah.
two, three years, like you said, and it's someone else who's maybe even on the partner grind, who's almost a partner, they are genuinely going to be like very open to at least thanking you and being grateful for sharing those viewers, and because a lot of people will
Hmm.
also remember what it was like for them when they started off too. They're not going to be
Hmm.
ignorant or kind of passive with that. So a
Hmm.
big takeaway would be don't be too worried about reaching out to bigger names, but you can't do it in like a follow for
Yeah.
follow way.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Like one thing I'll tell you, I've always told people in my Twitch chat will do it a lot is if somebody I had a guy the other day rate me with like one viewer and I had maybe 40 at the time and I had him get shouted out. So he got shouted out to 40 viewers. I don't care how big somebody raised me with. If they're a really good chatter, they rate out to me, whatever it is, I'll genuinely shout you out because I don't want people to think I take it for granted that, oh, you thought enough of me to send 2 viewers. I expected that. because I'm at this level. So, like, please give me your viewers. No, I genuinely appreciate what they do. And the guys I collaborate with, the guy who like was 3 times my side, he does the same thing. If you send over 2 viewers, he'll still shout you out even with a rate of that small. So that's part of it. Keep that genuality about you, even if you get bigger.
Yeah. And going back to kind of stream routines and stream length, you mentioned that you do 10 till 2. So, about 4 hours of streaming. What is your
Mhm.
opinion on like people doing super long, like 8, 10 hour streams, like 6 days a week? Because you're only doing three a day, 3 sessions a week, up to 4 hours, and you're seeing incredible success off it.
Um, the reason I did that mainly was if you have a set schedule and a smaller sample size, people feel like they have to get there to see you. It's kind of like when you want to watch a program on your television and you know it's at 8 o'clock, it's only on once a week, and it's that time. What are you gonna do? You're gonna like rush to get home. You gotta turn it on, and there it is. Versus if you know it's on there 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, I can miss one or two. I'm good. I'll catch up a little bit down the road. So you're kind of putting pressure on the viewer a little bit to want to tune in. Like, hey, McDougleberry's live. It's Tuesday. It's 10 o'clock. I got to get in here. I'm gonna miss it because he only does this 3 days a week for only 4 hours. If I don't get in now, I'm gonna miss it. That's
Yeah.
kind of my reasoning for it.
Yeah, it's not like episodes of Judge Judy that are always going to be on there. It's like, you don't want to miss the weekly game. You got to make it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
kind of supply and demand. Um, okay,
Mhm.
and what would you say then in terms of what? So you've got your stream when you're online, but what about when you're offline? I know that you mentioned networking, but is there anything that you're doing specifically for your own community through offline kind of engagement?
So a lot of times I'll do like where they can go on their Discord and promote their streams. We'll do like I have the digital Pokemon game you can play in Discord a little bit, so we'll play that back and forth. We'll chat, we'll share photos, stream clips, and we generally just keep building those vibes with each other. Or we'll sit in there and talk for a while, maybe listen to some music, just kind of chill, stuff like that. I eventually want to do down the road like a Friday night movie night or something like that, where I'm not streaming. They pop in the Discord. We'll tune it on, turn a movie on, kind of watch together. And I stream it to them. We just kind of hang out.
And with that actually reminded me of a question I wanted to add in terms of on
Mhm.
stream. Obviously, your chatty personality humor. Are there any specific like plugins that you're using or bots that you're using to kind of encourage engagement, or is there any other techniques that you're doing just other than yourself being chatty that you're using for engagement?
Yeah. So I have some commands. So like I have a command set up called exclamation point what up, and when they type that, it tells them what the stream's about. Right. When my actual like chat recommendations, whenever you first enter my chat for the first time, it says at the very bottom to type what up. And as soon as they type what up, it's the quickest, easiest way for you to get a response back to them is you're like, hey, well, what up to you too? And it works a lot. I've had a lot of people who will start with what up. Now, you have to change it every time you go live because the stream tile is going to change every time you go live. So you have to change that command every time. But if you do it right and you have it set up, you'll get somebody that says exclamation point, what up? First time chat. And you're like, well, how you doing? What's up? What brings you in here? And they'll want to keep chatting to you. Another thing I use is have exclamation point IQ and exclamation point based. I actually want to do another one called exclamation point goaded. And what they are is literally a random number generator. So it'll
Mhm.
literally just do a random number and say that IQ, Marcus's IQ of 59%, just something like that. Or like it's 20%. And we're like, oh man, it looks like somebody has some brain rot from being in here a little bit. Just fun stuff like that. I
Yeah.
don't remember I did it one time. I had a clutch moment I had to do, and I went in the chat and I said, "Let me see my IQ levels real quick." And I did exclamation IQ. It did like 3%. I'm like, "Well, I'm screwed."
It's just like a nice little tool for you to kind of, again, a little bit of a crutch, right, to fall back on.
Yep. And it really helps engage chat a little bit because like when they type it and it gives like a funny like response like, "Oh, you're 69%," you can be like, "Nice, nice." Just
And
kinda keeps the
one
chat
of
going a little bit.
and how do you deal with trolls if you do get trolls? 'Cause I imagine you've got quite a funny way to deal with them.
Um, so I've always learned when you get trolls, one thing is just don't engage with them a little bit, or if you do, because if they feel like you're getting, like, obviously offended by it or bothered by it, they're gonna keep doing it. So my moderators, I've told them a lot is we do like a 4 strike system. Like if somebody comes there and like just says some really, really ridiculous stuff, we time them out for like a crazy amount of time, for like 2 or 3 minutes. If they continue it, we pretty much ban them. And if they do it again, they get a perma ban. The first step's like a warning, obviously. Then we go to timeout, ban, then perma ban. And we've usually cycled out. I've only ever had like 1 or 2 people who've ever tried to come in there and like troll a little bit. Usually I'll troll them back a little bit if I feel like it, or I'll try to play off it a little bit like, oh, okay, okay. And I'll just, but like you stepped in the ring with the goat brothers. So I don't know what you think you're doing in here.
Yeah, you stepped in the ring with McGoatberry.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And so I know obviously that you've mentioned the networking and then trying to pick smaller games with maybe more cult-like viewers. Um, is there any
Mhm.
other ways outside of that that you kind of recommend for new streamers based on your experience still technically being a new streamer?
Another thing I'll say to help grow your streams, and I know it seems kind of like crazy, like kind of obvious, but like having a camera, getting a good microphone, like having your microphone audio stuff worked out. Um, and here's the thing, the camera really isn't that big of a deal. Like I have a higher grade camera, but like if I had poor lighting in here, you can have a $600 camera and the lighting be crap, and the camera looks like you have like a Nokia cell phone you're recording on. Um, so I would honestly say like, yeah, I would say honestly go to like your local Walmart, get you one of them $20 little ring lights, just get it on your face and get like you can use like my girlfriend streams on Twitch and we use her cell phone. She has like an iPhone 16. We'll put it on a stand. You can get an app called like Find Cam and you can set up like a webcam on your phone and take your little ring light, have good lighting, and have like a decent microphone that sounds good, doesn't pop and crack a bunch when you talk. And if a person clicking on your video for the first time has no audio issues or crash issues or bitrate issues, if you get those things kind of figured out and everything looks good, more liable to stay. Now you have those few that say, "Well, I use my monitor as lighting." But if you go to like a really dark room in a horror game where there's like no lighting whatsoever, it's like you just shut the lights off in your room pretty much. So they're not going to want to click. They're just going to see a pitch black room that you're sitting in. Like who is Jim 1 2? Who is this guy? I can't even see him because you want to attribute the face to a name. So being a
Yeah,
faceless one, like unless like you're a corpse on YouTube, you're not going to get big unless you get like a really good deep voice that attracts people to it. So just have those basic things worked out as far as your setup.
yeah. Just making it look, even if you've only got one, two, three viewers, if the perception is your stream at least looks professional and it's like well put together,
Hmm.
and simple things as well, like someone clicks on your stream, make sure the bio's filled out, make sure your panel's filled out. If you've got some stream links, if you've got any bio
Hmm.
links to socials, make sure they're actually working if someone clicks them and they don't just take you to somewhere random or like hit you with a 404 error, like super basics
Yep.
like that.
And one more thing to add there, Marcus, I'd say to like really get people to want to talk to you a little bit is if you have an about like, actually make like panels on your about section, like tells a little about yourself, really explains who you are, just fun facts. Like I tried that advice you gave me to have the fun facts thing on there. And I will tell you, I had a guy pop in there and said, "You're an Eagles fan? I'm a Commanders fan." And we talked for 35 minutes about something. That's the
Mhm.
easy way to get cheap chats out of it. Easy way to get cheap chats. And trust me, guys, those of you who had your conversation with Marcus for the first time, if he tells you make an about section, trust me, it does work. You will get some cheap chatters out of it. They will come chat to you about it.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
it's
I
easy
like,
to,
'cause I've
like,
noticed a lot of people, I go into people's Twitch pages. Oh, and like I went on people's Twitch pages and I'll see just a tipping link and nothing else. So that gives a bad perception to whoever wants to watch you. They'll think, "Oh, you're only here for the money. I'm not going to watch you." So like have some stuff there. Have like about yous, fun stuff like that.
Yeah, we always kind of joke, me and the other Yaka guys about, people will ask us, "Oh, I'm not growing, I don't know what to do," or "Oh, what should I do? What should I do?" And I maybe give them some advice, or I'll say, "Go ask Shadow." Shadow will give them some advice, and they'll go, "You know what I need to do is make a merch store. That's going to like
Yeah.
really pull me the big numbers." And you'll go to the
Yeah.
page, it'll be a link to a tipping page. It will be like some sort of, energy drink affiliate program, and it will be the merch store, and that's it. I was like, "Oh, come on,
Yep.
guys. There's more." If you think about it from the other way around, if you went on someone's Twitch page and that's all they had, you probably wouldn't stick around either.
No, and like I said, because that gives a perception to me as a viewer that all they care about is making a buck. That's all they care
Mm,
about. And if that's all you're there for, like, trust me, you're not going to grow. If you're doing this just to make money at it, I promise you, you won't succeed with it because people can really see through that false perception you're perceiving to everybody. They know they'll learn real fast you're in it for the money and not to genuinely make connections with people and just have fun. Because
yeah,
you're getting paid to stream video games and like react to stuff on Reddit and stuff like that. So if they feel like you're genuinely having a good time and like you're genuinely there for the right reasons, just as opposed to just vibes or give me a tip on PayPal,
yeah,
like they'll more liable stay for you.
yeah. And you mentioned the Reddit actually, and you mentioned earlier on that you'd done like a just chatting segment. What did you do in your just chatting segment
Mhm.
then? Was that something like that felt like weird just sitting there for 3 hours talking, or did you find it quite easy?
It's actually kind of easy. Once the chat was kind of going, we sat there and talked for a while. Now I will say at the end of that 24-hour stream, I was a little bit gone. I did one shot per sub, so I was a little bit hit up with some alcoholic beverage because when they popped in, I got hit with like 15 gifted subs in like 2 minutes. So
Oh my.
yeah, I got a little plaster faced it right there. And one of the guys in the chat said, I dare you to call Casey's gas station. I'm like, what is Casey's gas station? So they gave me a phone number, and I prank called them. You ever seen the movie Sling Blade, Marcus? Have you ever seen Sling Blade?
No, I've not.
No. So if you've never seen it, go watch. The main character is Billy Bob Thornton plays this guy, and he has a particular tone with him. His name's Carl, and I called Casey's gas station, and I had to do that whole voice the whole time while I called him. So I can probably do it here. It's I went like, "Mm, what you got in there, good day?" And I lay on the phone was like, "What? Who is this?" And
Oh, that's so good.
then hung up.
That's that's amazing. Oh my god. That's so good. I mean, the world of Twitch is so funny, right, isn't it? And it's some people,
Yeah.
can be so funny. Like, some of the best things I read are on, like, Instagram or YouTube comments as well. Like, there's just such, like, some
Mhm.
funny people out there with some great ideas.
Like
Oh
one
my
of my guys in my chat the other day, he actually asked me, he's like, "How many?" Because I like a community challenge where people get their channel points. I have to wear a funny costume at the next stream. Well, then we hit our goal, and one of the guys in chat who was there when I did the Sling Blade voice for the gas station call said, "How much would it cost for you to do the whole stream in that voice?" I said, "Well, you give 10 subs, we'll talk about it."
Right? Oh my god, that's so funny. That'd absolutely wreck your voice as well after, like, 4 hours.
Oh yeah, you gotta get the to start it, and it's like it wears you out to have a drink right handy just to keep it going.
Yeah, it's like every time you try to do an Australian accent, and every time to start it, you gotta say "good day." It's like, then I'm good for the
Yeah,
accent.
yeah.
Uh, and so what with you, like, still being at the start then really, do you have any have you set yourself any goals in particular for, for 2025?
So obviously the goal is to get partner. Like I'm gradually working my way towards it, and like kind of planning out how to get there. That's like a long term goal, I guess you could say. A lot of short term goals I've been doing, and I've had some pretty good traction out of it. Is a lot of people put like their sub goals on their Twitch channels, like just a total sub goal. I've had a pretty good response to if you do like just daily sub goals, like 10 daily subs, and like have it like on your screen when they're watching. that's usually some attainable little goals you can do. It kind of gives you like some good feelings about yourself. Like, oh wow, I got 10 subs that stream. I did really well that stream. That kind of keeps you motivated a little bit. Or like have like a small bit goal, just some easy small one. That's kind of what I've been shooting for. Like, oh, this stream I'm shooting for 10 daily subs, right? And I hit that, good success. Or I want to get 3 or 4 people for the Discord server, hit that. But obviously, the larger goal is we get to 75 viewers, get partner, we get a more growing Discord server, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I still set those short term daily ones to kind of not cripple myself.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's really good to have both the short term, medium term, long term, because if you only ever have long term goals,
Mm.
like they seem so far out of reach that they can kind of be demotivating in ways. And if you have, whereas if you have like
Mhm.
some realistic short term goals, like you mentioned with 10 subs, 10 subs might seem like, oh, it's 10 subs. But if you're doing 3 streams a week, assuming there's 4 streams, 4 weeks in a month, then you're, pulling in 120 subs there, which is pretty good, right?
Mhm.
It's not something to frown
Yep.
at. So when you start extrapolating that outwards, it's pretty good going. So definitely, I think people should take kind of a page out of your book in terms of setting some longer term, but also some short term goals. Um, and with converting people over to your Discord, how are you doing that?
Also, in the Twitch chat, I'll usually put at the very top a pinned comment, just like with a never ending, like never like expiring link. And as I've streamed throughout, I will reference people like, hey, pop in our Discord. Like, we can keep the vibes going, keep the networking going, kind of keep collaborating with each other, talking with each other. Um, and usually I'll get a lot of people want to pop in there. Like, I started with maybe 5 in the Discord. Now we're at 45, 50 people, which pretty good I've only had the Discord up maybe 2 weeks. So
Wow,
still pretty good numbers as far as like converting.
that's
So,
amazing.
but like to go back, we were previously talking about like, and hope I'm not like cutting back into a topic a little bit earlier. But one thing, if I can remember correctly, what I was going to say, I'll remember here in a minute. I forgot. I brain farted for a minute. I'll get it back in a second. I'll get it back in a
Is
second.
it maybe about the goals?
Oh yeah, about the goals. Yeah, about the goals. So one thing I will say about like when we said the short term goals, another reason I say always do that is if all you have are the long term goals, then you're gonna fall in that like the actual almost anxiety about it where you're watching a viewer count every time you go live. If that's all you're focused on is the 75 viewer count and nothing else, and you have nothing else to shoot for on a daily basis, then you're just gonna burn yourself out. Because you're gonna see like, oh, one stream I had 45 viewers, next stream I got 20. I might as well just quit. I'm losing viewers. Versus like, hey, I may have only had 20 viewers, but I got 15 subs that stream. I hit my 10 daily sub goal. I blew it out of the water with 5 extra subs. So that kind of gives you a boost of confidence.
Yeah, purely linear growth. It's not just every single day the number of viewers are going to go up. It might be that
Yep.
an
Yep.
extra person joins the Discord, an extra 5 subs is gifted. Maybe someone
Hmm.
follows you on TikTok or one of your socials. Maybe someone reaches out to you on Discord for a networking opportunity or a collaboration opportunity. It's not always going to be purely linear. And I think that's something that people need to appreciate. And there will
Yep.
be some days where, like you mentioned there, maybe you're usually getting 10 viewers and maybe today you only got 5. But then, and that makes you feel really down. But then you
Yep.
go live the next time and there's 12. It kind of comes in waves. And
Yep.
it's a skill in itself trying to manage the anxiety of that.
Yep. That's why I always tell people if you like if you're even if you're not affiliate, like those of you who are watching are not affiliated, set you like a 10 follower goal. Like, hey, we got 10 followers this stream. That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah,
Those were 10 genuine followers you had throughout the stream. That's that's good growth. You keep that going through like a 3 or 4 day span. You gain 40 followers in 4 days. And those are genuine followers, not people you want to follow for follow group and kind of pop in every 2 seconds and leave. These are people you genuinely got.
yeah. And I've actually mentioned this in the past on multiple different masterclasses, which is when people are setting these goals on stream that people can see, and maybe they put a goal target of 100 followers, but they only themselves have 10 followers. Like 100 is so far away that not only is it
Yeah.
a big goal that you're setting yourself, but also it makes people less inclined to want to help you get there because the goal's just so far. Whereas if put today's
Mhm.
goal is to get 5 followers, well, if I follow you, I'm 20% of that contribution towards the goal. Whereas if it's to get 100 followers, I'm only 1% of that.
Mm.
So again, it kind of makes the viewers more likely to want to help you as well when the goals are smaller.
Like, you like a 10 if you have a 10 daily sub goal, one person can gift you 10 subs,
Hmm.
and you made your goal. So that gives you a boost in confidence, like, "Wow, somebody thought of me to give 10 subs in my stream." Plus, you made that short-term goal that keeps that confidence level up, as opposed to just like, "Dang, I only had 15 viewers this time. I'm a long way from partner. Yesterday I had 30. What did I do?" And, like, you start eating at yourself and, like, get those voices in your head a little bit, kinda makes it like you can't do it. But no, like, you can. You just have to set realistic things you can get every day.
Yeah, 1000%. All right. Well, I appreciate we're coming up onto the hour mark, so I think we'll probably wrap it up with one last question, which is if you were to give kind of one last kind of tip to people who are new, who are just getting into it, or maybe have been doing it for a couple of years now but aren't really seeing much growth, is there kind of any main pointers that you would give them?
So, like, going and I'll go back to, like, when I first started on Facebook. Like, I'll go back there because that was, like, when I truly, really, like, kind of got my feet wet in streaming a little bit when I really didn't know anything, is if you're debating on when to go live, because I know a lot of people, like, you probably see in the Discord, "When should I start going live? When should I start streaming? When should I do things?" You just do it. Just hit the go live button, like, and play a game that you enjoy or thought about playing, like, and talk as if, like, you're just talking with your buddy. Have a good time with yourself, or just show genuinely that you're having a good time. And as you do that, the viewership will come and the followers will come. Those things will come in time, but don't burn yourself out with follower counts. Don't burn yourself out with viewer counts. Don't over worry yourself about, like, well, I have to hit this or I'm not going to get affiliate. I have to do this. Or I'm not going to do it. Just be yourself. Like, keep it all just level headed, because trust me, the more you stress yourself out, the more you worry about, if I don't do this before I go live, or I don't have this set up before I go live, things aren't going to work out. You're just going to make it worse. Plus, if you just go live and you're still figuring out, you have 0 viewers the whole time, or just one, which is like your girlfriend or your sister or your boyfriend. The good thing there is you're going to work out the kinks, work out the communication issues, work out, like, the audio issues, work out a lot of the stuff. That way, when you kind of figure it out a little bit, when you fully go live, that way you're more confident. So when people start watching you, you're when 5 people pop in to watch you, they're like, "Wow, this person's been doing it for a little bit." Because actually you have been. You've been doing it for maybe 2 months, but you've been working some kinks out with it. Because it's a skill. Streaming is a skill. It's not something you're gonna learn in 5 minutes watching a YouTube video. No one can teach you to be entertaining. No one can teach you to be funny. No one can teach you to be engaging. That's stuff you just kinda learn and, like, develop. It's kinda like when you work on your car or work on your house. Like, those are skills you learn by doing it. Like, you can watch the video on how to, like, hammer your wall together, but until you actually do it, you really don't know what you're doing with it. Same thing here. You don't know until you do it. So just do it and have fun
Yeah.
doing it. And whether you get 0 viewers or 75 viewers and your partner in 2 weeks, at least you had fun. That's all that matters.
Yeah. 1000%. All right. Well, McDougleberry, Keith, McGoatberry was a pleasure and some amazing insight there. And obviously, best of luck on hitting those partner goals. The way you're going, it'll be done by spring. So keep it up, mate. You're absolutely killing it. I appreciate your
Well,
time.
I appreciate you, Marcus. I appreciate the Actor Grow team. Like, you guys do give a lot of insight. You guys really do help. A lot of your tips, like I said, even though I was at 25, you're like, I don't know how much I can help you. Trust me, the stuff you gave me, it has helped. It has definitely helped. I've gained 10 to 20 viewers just off the stuff you told me. So I do
Great.
appreciate that, man.
Love to hear it, mate. All right. Appreciate it. And there we
I
go.
appreciate it, man.